Kiki, hi Lisa, how are you? Just drop me a message in the chat box if you can hear me. It's to the right of the screen. Can you hear me? So we have a few minutes before we get started. Where are you both joining from? I'm actually in England right now, in Birmingham. It's a city between London and Manchester, like we're in the middle. It's the best way to describe it. Or I mentioned the football team and everyone's like, oh, Aston Villa. We're not Aston Villa. Oh, Kiki's driving. Okay, no problem, Kiki. Lovely to have you here. Lisa, Natalia, where are you joining from today? Hey. A couple of minutes to allow people to join before we get started. I'm really excited to have you here. We've been doing a lot of boot camps, so boot camps are like in my DNA. So much to tell you about the boot camp, what we're up to, what's coming in the new year, next year. So many exciting stuff. Where are you joining from, Natalia, Lisa? I know Kiki's driving, so I don't want to bug Kiki with too many questions while she's driving. Okay, so I'll give you some context about sprinters, what we do. I just want to mention that this information session is recorded. So Kiki, if you're not able to take notes, or if you like miss a point, or anyone else, if you miss a point to anything that I say, you can catch up on the recording or reach out to me anytime. So a bit about Sprinters. Sprinters was founded 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was in Brazil on a program by the European Commission, and I was an entrepreneur in residence at the University of Sao Paulo. So it's really crazy how it all happens. It happens super quickly. Kiki's and Busted, super. So it all happened so quickly. Not quickly, but it all happened so randomly. I applied for this program because I'm always looking for like really interesting startup programs, and I love to travel. So I've been traveling and working remotely for the last 10 years because I don't want to live my life or travel in the 4 weeks of my holidays that I get. So I was like, how can I combine the two? So I came across this program by the European Commission, and they send entrepreneurs from Europe to Brazil. They sent around 50 entrepreneurs on the program. And I was lucky to get selected. I went through like 3 interview rounds. It was a long process. I finally got accepted. And I remember telling my friends like, hey, I'm on this program, going to Brazil. And my friend was like, do you want to get shot? You're going to go to Brazil, do you want to get shot? And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, you're going to get shot in Brazil. I'm like, no, I'm not. And luckily for me, I actually met an amazing Brazilian girl called Mariana in Morocco. And when I traveled to Brazil, I actually surprised her. That was another story. So I ended up in Brazil. And before that, I've done a lot of work in startups. In North Africa and Europe, around Asia. And when I was in Brazil, I took part in the program by the University of Sao Paulo. So I was helping them set up the incubator, the accelerator program, lecturing, teaching on the program. I joined Startup Weekend in Brazil. Also in Chile, there are loads of startup activities, and I noticed that, like, hey, where's the women at? Why is it super male dominated? And so for me to actually have the experience, I actually joined as a participant, and I realized that, hey, me as a woman, I don't feel like I can voice my opinion, or like I don't feel so confident or comfortable to be able to say, like, hey, this is who I am and this is what I want to do, or even like share an opinion. Like if someone said, no, that color's red, I couldn't say, like, no, that's blue, or have like proper intellectual debate without being judged for being a woman, I'd say. So that's the background of like where these ideas came about, like, hey, there's enough programs or support for women in entrepreneurship. And that's where Sprinters was born. It's like, hey, I really want to do something, but I don't want to do something that isn't really going to help. So there's a lot of programs, all to each their own credit, but I believe in taking action to do something. So I'm a marketeer. I didn't learn any marketing, so for me it's been super hands-on. There's a lot of talk about diversity, and there's all these reports about diversity, but nothing's actionable to change things. So for me, straight away, I knew, like, I don't want to do something if it's just all talk. I want to do something that's actually going to help women from diverse backgrounds move down the pipeline, you know, get the skills they need, to get the education, get access to mentors, experts, investors, and so on. So we started with the hackathons. We call them hackathons or boot camps. It is the same way, whichever way you look at it. So we started with a boot camp. We did the first in Dublin. We organised it in 30 days. No experience of organising it ever. We had Twitter on board as a sponsor. Oh my God, it was crazy. 1 week before the program, so we had Twitter on board as a sponsor, and that meant they were sponsoring their venue. So they have the HQ in Dublin. So they sponsored their HQ in Dublin. We had the vice president coming in to do a talk. They sponsored catering. They did this big splash for us. A lot of social media activity. And a week before the program, they were like, so, Mebish, how many people do you have signed up? And we actually had one person signed up. And I was like, oh my God, there's no way I can tell them this. So I was like, oh yeah, we have like 23 women signed up. And that was a complete lie, it was a white lie. But I had no other choice. I thought, I can't tell them it's one, because they were freaking out already. We weren't getting our numbers together. And then right before the program started, actually until the last hour before the program started, we had like 23 women from 11 nationalities. So I was super happy with that. That was like amazing. So that was our first program. We run programs in India, Nigeria, and Abuja and Lagos. One of our biggest was in Morocco, where we collaborated with a big conference. We had over 150 people from over 100 nationalities. Amazing. Done programs in Berlin. We did a conference with London Business School. We did works in the Balkans, in Albania. Again, I was an entrepreneur in residence in the Balkans. We've done a bunch of events out in Asia and North Africa, so we've done a lot. Specifically to the online bootcamp, the first one we did was, I was going to say last year, it feels like last year. It was actually end of June, early July. And I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes of exactly what we did from day 1 to day 5. So it was a 5-day bootcamp, but the next bootcamp we have next week is actually a 3-day bootcamp. And it's 3 days based on the feedback that we had. So that 5 days was too long. Not everyone could commit to 5 days, and quite a few scheduling issues for people that are busy. I understand, like, we have moms, we have single parents, we have students, we have people from like super diverse backgrounds, so not everyone can commit to 5 days. We get it. So we're changing the program around back to 3 days, and it has actually always been 3 days. So the 5 days was just a test. I'm going to start by doing a screen share. So our bootcamp materials, content, everything you need is on the Mighty Networks. So I'm going to show you that in a second. But before I get there, during the bootcamp, we host all our conversations, all our talks here on Remo. So Remo is a super interactive platform where you can basically jump. So it's basically, I'll rewind. It's basically you have webinar mode, which is where we are right now. And then you also have the virtual networking mode. So after we finish the presentation, you'll see that there's tables in the background. So those tables, consider them like virtual tables. So you can jump from table to table, switch on your camera, switch on your mic, and just talk to someone as if you're sharing an offline table, but it's basically a virtual table. Grab your coffee and network away. So this is the platform we use for our bootcamp. And the second tool that we use is the Mighty Networks. So I'm going to take you there first. Please let me know in the comments if you see my screen. I'll come back. I'll hover back to make sure you can access the screen share. Yep, super. Hey, Natalia. Okay, great. So you see my screen. So our community platform is built here on Mighty Networks. So it's members.sprinters.co. Once you log in, you don't have to log in, but if you want to like browse the community platform, you can go in and basically browse the platform. Here we have discovery. So we have anonymous posts each Wednesday. So it gives everyone a chance to talk about what's really on their mind without feeling like they're being judged or without information, going to the wrong people. So we try our best to keep everything confidential within the group. Here's an anonymous post that we have. We have a bunch of events. So we have a mentor from 500 Startups joining us next week. I'm also a mentor at 500 Startups. So anything related to starting up, business, entrepreneurship, marketing, please feel free to reach out to me. So we have Maureen next week. And this is the information session. So you see it's live. You have members. So you can see members that are near you, newest, host, ambassadors, and online now. So if I want to network with members within my region, I can reach out to Tia, Liz, Lucy, Pooja, Bulanli, Wenmiao. And here is about what the community stands for. And here are topics. So here's a bunch of topics. Feel free to go through this. And here's events. So for the bootcamp, we go here, which is premium group. I just want to go back to see if you'll have access to that. Okay, so in premium groups. So this is something we're working on in the background. It's a mini course we're creating. This is the Sprint Circle, which I will talk about later. Sprint Circle resources. Again, I'll come back to this. This is a preview of what you can see inside the Sprint Circle. This is the bootcamp, and this is the upcoming bootcamp we're working on for next week. This is a free startup validation course. So if you're like, hey, I have this great idea, but I haven't validated it, and you're interested in joining the bootcamp, I recommend starting here. Even if you're not interested in joining the bootcamp, you're like, hey, I just want to do that validation course. Perfect, sign up here. We have a handbook on how to use a community. This is a mini course that we created, how to validate your idea. Another one, how to find and convert your users online. And this is something we're working on, how to start your own online business. And this will be an online course. So I'm going to take you into the 5-day bootcamp. We're going to compress this down into 3 days. Before I get started, I just want to say you're going to see a lot of content here, a lot of content. For the bootcamp next week, we are trimming down the content. What I did with the last bootcamp was I have all this content. I have a lot of content. I have a lot of resources. Like, honestly, it's mind-blowing how much I have. And I was like, okay, I need to share this. 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 And it was actually too much. So we're trimming the content down to make sure that you're only focusing on one thing each day. And we will help you get there. So here you'll see is the course format. So here is welcome, start here, overview, pre-bootcamp homework, So the pre-bootcamp homework is the validation course I showed you. So it wouldn't be any of this. Team formation, we need to go through this. I'll break this down. Business model, your no-code MVP, your first users, storytelling and pitch, and then pitch day. So everything that you see here, you will not be seeing this in the bootcamp next week. We're going to be cutting the content down so you can focus on only like one thing a day instead of like, say, 3 challenges a day. That's a lot. I know people are busy, they have their own commitments. So we're going to be cutting this down a lot to make sure you get the best value and able to make the best progress during your time on the bootcamp. Do we have any questions before I dive in? Any questions? So if you have questions whilst I am talking, I will stop and come back and have a look at the chat box to see if there are any questions. Okay. So to start, I'll run through the navigation on the left. So when you come into the bootcamp module, you'll see the schedule. So this is everything you need, access to all your resources, tools, everything you need. And here's an activity feed, and this just shows you what's been going on, the latest activity. So if I comment on a resource, you'll see that. If someone else comments on a resource, you will see that. Here you'll also see members. Again, you will see top members, near you, newest members. Your cheerleaders is basically your host, which is me, and members online now, about, and then you'll also see the events page. So we have our own events hub for the sprintup bootcamp. I'll show you what we did for the last bootcamp. We had a lot of events. So we did, I'll go straight to the bottom, go all the way up. Okay, so here we put together a test session. So this is a test your tech event here. So with this, you just go online, click and test to see if your tech works. So this was a link to Remo, which is the platform we're using right now. This is just to make sure your camera and mic works. And if you are having issues, we can troubleshoot them ahead of the bootcamp, because I really want you all to be heavily involved with the bootcamp, be able to use your mic and your camera, network with other sprinters on the bootcamp, being able to communicate with us. It makes a big difference when you can see someone and actually hear them communicate as opposed to written text, especially today. So this is like a quick test. Here we go. And then here we had a welcome event, which was the Friday evening. We did a workshop, ID and problem validation, a Q&A with the workshop host. This is Saturday. So we had a check-in, a guest interview, a Q&A with the workshop host, check-in, guest interview. So we have a lot of events. For the next bootcamp next week, what we're doing is we're going to limit this down to 1 event each day. So it will be the Friday evening, we will have a networking event, a welcome and networking event. So I'll introduce the program, introduce all the resources, introduce your curriculum, introduce Remo, and get everyone working in accountability groups. Why accountability? Because it was a lot of fun last time, and it also gives you a chance to learn from other peers. So as opposed to just learning from me, as opposed to just learning from sprinters, we also learn best when, when we see our friends or colleagues that are making progress, and it's like, hey, how did you do that? Am I missing something? So we're able to put people in groups because we want to be able to go on that journey together of making progress together. So we will get into accountability groups on the Friday. So that's here the 20th, which is when we have the networking and the welcome session, and we'll run through one of our modules. And then Saturday and Sunday, you will access all the materials that we have for Saturday and Sunday. But Saturday we'll get together the 21st, and I will do a check-in with the entire group. So this is a check-in where you come in line and you say, hey, Mavish, I have XYZ challenge. I can't do this, or I'm struggling with this. Can you talk me through how to do this? We'll have you present your work. So if you're working on your business model canvas, come online, come on screen, and then share your work and say, hey, I've done X, Y, Z, but I'm struggling with Y or A. So it's a chance to put you in a hot seat and share your learnings with the team. So we'll be doing that on Saturday and Sunday. And then Sunday, we'll be inviting a guest so you can pitch and get experience. In the last bootcamp, we had 3 VCs, which was amazing, but in hindsight, from a user perspective, so for those that did join the bootcamp, some of the feedback was like, hey, Marish, that was amazing, 3 VCs, we loved it. But to be honest, it was pretty intimidating, especially because I have no pitching experience. So we don't want you to feel like that. That was quite a lot of the feedback we had around the pitching. They loved the pitching, but it's really hard to get over that intimidation or that feeling of like, oh, that lack of confidence when you're pitching to VCs, even though they have your best interests at heart. So for next week, we'll be having one judge to come in and listen to your pitches, and you want to make you feel as comfortable as possible. So that's why we're making a small change here. But we are doing more pitch sessions, so I will talk about that later. So we'll have one judge. And this will be someone that will come online and give you some really good actionable feedback for your pitch. So these are all the events. I want to see if we have any questions, so I'll just pop back. Very good. Oh, hi, Heidi. Heidi. Sorry if I got your name wrong. My name is always wrong. Whenever people pronounce my name, so like Mavis is the worst. Thank you for joining us. For those that have joined us recently, Mary, Shama. Okay, so now I'll go back, and here we have your schedule. So I will run through, I wouldn't run through everything, but I'll give you a really good insight as to what we did the last time around. So you start here with an overview. This is this bootcamp, this is what you get, this is how we support you. This is like a really nice introduction to the bootcamp. This was the last bootcamp we did. We want to track everyone's progress because we want to show you the progress that you're making. You know, it's nice to do a bootcamp or a program, but it's really nice to see your progress. It's nice to see that, hey, when I joined, I was at X, and now that I finished, I'm at Y. That progress feels amazing. I don't know about you, but for me, I really love that. So we created a progress tracker to help you manage your progress and update your progress. And it's something that to share, that you can share and also celebrate. I feel like we don't celebrate our achievements enough. So we have a progress tracker that everyone will always get access to. And here's a welcome section. So here we have a welcome to what the bootcamp is and what you get. So you'll see this whole your schedule section is built as if it is a course. So if you click on these arrows here, it expands and you can jump from section to section. You can also, I can't do this on this one, be in the community. So there's also a feature where you can actually save posts, but not on here. It's in the main community. And this is a group inside the Sprinters community. So here we are. So we see all these lessons in this section. So here, I'll show you this. Your mission. So we will start with this, is your mission is to find a problem worth solving, because everyone has ideas and you're not selling an idea, you're selling a problem. You're selling a solution to a problem, right? People don't pay for ideas. Like I could have an idea for great coffee, but what problem is that solving for me? So we'll think about problems. Design an extraordinary user experience. Right now, let me give you an example. We have Pret a Manger. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Pret. So Pret is a French cafe restaurant in the UK, also in France, and they actually recently launched a coffee subscription. It's amazing. So it's coffee, tea, smoothies, frappes, all for £20 a month, and you can have 5 a day. That doesn't mean like I can go in and order 5 drinks at the same time. It's after every half an hour. All I need is to download the barcode on my phone, on my wallet. That's it. So that to me is like amazing, because I don't need to use my card all the time. I don't need to swipe. I just show my barcode and I'm done. So that for me is a great user experience as a user. So I want you to always think about how you can design a great user experience. If it takes your users like, half an hour to complete an application form, that's not good enough. You're going to lose people. You have to always think about how you can make things cheaper, quicker, and more convenient for your customers. Get to know your customers and tailor an addictive, scalable solution. So why get to know your customers? Because you're selling to them, you want to be their best friend. You really want to understand who they are. Get them addictive because you want to keep bringing them back. Here in the community, we send out notifications to keep bringing people back. So we have a bunch of events. We keep inviting you back. Create a story around your unique value proposition. So you may remember earlier when I talked about Sprinters and how we were founded, I talked about my story of being in Brazil, being part of a bunch of programs, of not seeing enough women represented, or even women like me, or women that represent our society. So I thought, hey, I need to do it. I need to work on this. Be agile, find shortcuts, copy what's been done, and using all available resources. If you join a bootcamp, you'll really get to know me. And one thing you'll know is that I'm a bit of a master at finding shortcuts, because when you're doing your business, you need to be able to move fast and at speed, and you don't have time to write like a marketing plan or a business plan. So it's all about finding quick shortcuts to get things done. And I would probably say I'm one of the masters. Not masters. I'm probably someone that's really good at finding shortcuts, because I like to save my time. You don't want to spend hours on end writing a report when you can maybe outsource it on Upwork or Fiverr and get someone else to write it. So always think about how you can be agile. Engage your mentors to solve the problem. So I will be on hand to help answer your questions. I've been running these bootcamps for 5 years. I'm also a mentor at 500 Startups. I'm a mentor at London School of Economics. I also scouted entrepreneurs for Southwest in the US, taken part in dozens of programs around the world. So trust me, you're in good hands. And remember, goals are dreams with deadlines. So don't just set a goal, always add a deadline. Otherwise, you're not going to see that progress. Again, it comes down to progress. You want to see you're progressing. And that's what I want to see too. So I'm going to pop back to see if there's any questions while I've been talking. Okay, not yet. Okay, so here you can now go to either test your tech to the next lesson, or you can hover here to the left. So I just want to show you how I've done that. So if I click here, so I click these 2 arrows at the top right-hand corner. Here we are. So here we have some bootcamp homework. So the bootcamp homework will be the pre-validation course I shared earlier. If you cannot find access to that, reach out to me and I'll make sure you get access. And it's just a quick course to give you an insight as to what you need to do to validate your idea to get you bootcamp ready. The bootcamp is an intense 3 days, but I want to make sure that you are prepared and you get the most value out of your time on the bootcamp. And the best way to do that is to make sure you are prepared, and that pre-validation course will get you prepared. So once I finish running through the sprintup bootcamp here, I'll run through the pre-validation course to give you an idea what you can expect. So here we have the pre-bootcamp homework. We have some challenges here. So here's one challenge. This was pre-bootcamp homework, but this you will not have next week if you join the bootcamp. So here, day 1, team formation and ideation and validation. So we talk about problems, validation, problem, solution fit. Let me go down and see. So I did 2 workshops here. This is if you don't have a problem, so how to find a problem, and this is how to validate a problem. So you'll have access to the full recording, the PDF. Bunch of challenges. It will trim this down to 1 to make sure you are more focused and you're only focusing on the thing that really matters. So here's a couple of challenges. If I'm going too fast, please also tell me. It's only because I'm excited to have you here. So assumption mapping, so problem market fit identified, customer insights prepared. So we have all the worksheets that you need. You don't need to come in and look for resources or create resources. We have all the worksheets, all the PDFs, all the swipe files, all the recordings, everything you need. All we say is that you allocate time for this and you are committed. You connect with your accountability partners, you connect with me. We're here to help and see you succeed. So each section will have a tool section, and these tools will give you an insight as to like, hey, if I need to use Google Keyword Planner, what do I need to do? And you click here to do additional research, Google Consumer Barometer, Advanced Patent Search. So we will give you the tools that you need. You don't need to go out and find this. And we do this because we want to make sure that you're focusing on the things that are important to you without wasting time on Google and going down that rabbit hole, because I've been there, and I'm sure you've probably been there too, where you're like looking for a resource or something and you just can't find it, and then you click onto one thing, then the other, and then the other, and before you know it, you're onto some random YouTube video. That's happened so many times with me. Here we have some inspiration and a live workshop. And this is a Q&A check-in I did. And here you'll access a guest interview we did with Rahaf. So Rahaf is a Syrian refugee, and she's launched an amazing coffee company called Daffy, and it's made from dates. She's close partnerships with Heineken and DLI Piper. She's based over in the Netherlands. So she shared her story going from a refugee to becoming an entrepreneur. And she shared that journey with us, which is really inspiring. Because we feel like, hey, even though like we have maybe access to opportunity, like why aren't we making progress? But for someone like Rahaf to go from Syria and make that progress was huge. And it was really like an honor to have her on board. So you'll get access to her interview, and I do strongly recommend it. So this is something that I will probably get you to do with your accountability pairs, to like get together and like see like people get together and do like a Netflix party. We can do like a college party and watch the video together, because it's really inspiring. So day 2, business models. And here again, we'll see goal of the day, update your progress, workshop, business model canvas, tools, workshop. And here we have Abisola from Nigeria, amazing lady. So we had really great, amazing entrepreneurs that came in and shared the story each day. We have your no-code MVP, and this was with Tessa. Tessa, amazing. So Tessa set herself a goal to hit 1,000 subscribers for her platform by a set date, and she hit that earlier just by doing one thing. I won't tell you that one thing because I don't want to give it away, but her interview was like really eye-opening. So you'll be able to catch her interview. Oh, it's actually here. There's her interview. I think it's here. Yep, no code MVP. This is with Tessa Thomas. Oops. I think it's here. Oh, so object. We had so many sessions. So Tessa is here somewhere. She's just hiding, but her interview was amazing. Here we had Siran's ex-Uber, and talked about her experience growing up, studying at Harvard, progressing into a career in Uber, to studying for her master's at London School of Economics, to launching her own business. She shares her story, and she also talks a lot about privilege and how her mom raised her, and how she's been like climbing the corporate ladder to get into entrepreneurship. So it's a really inspiring story. So we try our best to get you experts that are super diverse, first of all, and also have that really exciting and interesting perspectives that you can learn from. That's something I always try my best to do. So day 3 is your no-code MVP. So again, you'll see goal of the day, workshop recording, and you will see one challenge. You will see tools, because I don't want you to waste time looking for these tools. This says for ambassadors, but this is available for everyone. Get inspired. If you have extra time and if you want to, we always share additional resources, so you can go in and click here and read, for example, a resource. It's only optional. It's optional. You don't have to do this. Okay. Day 4 is your first users. So your challenge is to create a marketing strategy. So we provide a template. I'll show you. So here, what are your goals? Talk about goals, 1 to 3 months, your revenue, series of product, customer persona. And maybe if you're reading this and you're thinking, oh my God, I can't do that, it's too much. Honestly, don't worry, this is what we're here for. We will help you complete this. If you're not sure what that is, what your marketing message is, this is what the check-in sessions are. It's like, hey, maybe I'm going to be doing my marketing strategy today, and I have no idea what to do. Can I go in a hot seat and get everyone's opinions and feedback? That's what we're here for, is to give you that feedback so you can make the changes that you need to move forward. Any questions before I go on? Okay. Heidi, is it possible that you could share the link to this pre-bootcamp, please? Of course, Heidi, I'll share that before we finish. And is there a fee for the validation course? No, it's completely free. So I will share access to the pre-validation course. And we do that because I really want you to get the most out of the bootcamp. There's nothing worse than showing up for a program and being unprepared. There's nothing worse than that. And I don't want you to come in and feel like, oh no, I'm super unprepared for this. It's going to be an intense 3 days. And the best way you can get the most value out of it is to come in and be prepared. So I'll be sharing the pre-bootcamp validation course. It's completely free. And we offer that free because I want to make sure that you have all the tools, resources, materials that you need to make sure that you're ready to take the bootcamp on. And obviously do great in it, do well in it, and succeed, because that's what we're all here for. I want to see you make that progress. That's why we designed the pre-validation course, to make sure you are bootcamp ready. I want you to make the most of the 3 days. It's going to be very intense. The best way you can do that is to make sure that you are prepared. And the pre-validation course definitely does that. So I will share that before we finish. I'll go back to my screenshot. Here we are. And day 5, storytelling and pitch. So I'll show you. So one of the challenges we set for day 5 was to create your startup summary. So there's a one-line description, your team, customer solution, target market. So consider this like your business, your mini business plan. It's a bit bright, right, the yellow. So your team, customer, their problem, your solution, business model, how you make money, target market, competition, competitive advantage, traction, how much money you want to raise, what you'll use it for, and then your 10-second pitch. I really try my best to make sure we break things down for you, and there's nothing worse than having to complete like a 20-page startup summary or like a 15-page or 50-page business plan. So I will always look at ways to trim it down to make it easy for you. No one has time to write a 50-page business plan. A lot of the entrepreneurs in our group, not a lot, I would say the majority, most of them do work full-time or part-time or freelance. No one has the time to do like 50-page business plans. So I'll always look at ways to break this down and simplify it. So this is just one example to start at summary. This will help you prepare for your pitch, put together your presentation. So once you have all this information, just move this over into a really nice presentation and it's done. So we don't need to complicate it. So that's day 5. And then here we have the pitch session. Some instructions on your pitch, what your pitch deck should include. And these are a sample presentation kit that you could use. Important information for your pitch session. Deadline for the pitch session. And then here's a pitch practice. So we did a pitch practice recording session, which you can access here. And here's a live pitch. So if you want to access, like, if you want to see like how the last group pitched, you can see that here. But we are changing that around from the next bootcamp next week. So instead of pitching to 3 VCs, we're going to have you pitch to 1 person only. And this 1 person will be someone that has regularly received and analyzed and reviewed startup pitches, because we want you to be comfortable. And here, now you finished the bootcamp. So I'll quickly run through what happens when you finish the bootcamp, then I'll show you the pre-validation course and what else? Answer your questions, of course. That's what we're here for. Okay, so this is the bootcamp. So many people join the bootcamp and they think, okay, we've done the bootcamp, now what? Like, how can we continue the momentum of the bootcamp? It's been an intense 3 days, and you feel like, hey, I've made so much progress in 3 days. How do I continue? So for us to address that need, we created the Sprint Circle. So the Sprint Circle is a private group for women that want more after the bootcamp, or women that actually just want more to focus on and do more stuff, do more work. So we do a lot more resources, a lot more support here in the Sprint Circle. So we host office hours. So after this call today, I'm hosting office hours for the Sprint Circle. We are answering any questions around a business, put them in a hot seat, review pitches, review and give feedback on landing pages, basically anything you want. So here we also have a section which is called the good stuff, and this gives you an insight as to what we have in the Sprint Circle. So we have a tour, a welcome event, a non-disclosure agreement. This means that anything that comes in the Sprint Circle, so if I share something confidentially to the Sprint Circle, there's a mutual non-disclosure that actually stays in the Sprint Circle. So we have a level of transparency and also like a respect, so we trust each of the secrets or trade secrets or anything personal that they share. Mission, our community values, schedule, opportunities. We have a ton of member perks, Techstars affiliates. I can refer you. And here, if I go into topics, we have announcements, workshops, opportunities, and inspiring words and stories. And we share our wins, which is really nice. If I go back, I quickly run you through the resources. So in a Sprint Circle, we also have a ton of resources. So if you were to join a Sprint Circle, you will get access to the last group and also this group. So the difference is we have all our resources here, and we actually have a ton. So we have funding resources, wellness resources, mental health, Corona Proof Your Business Challenge. So you're seeing this version because I'm host, so I have editing, so you'll see this version, so don't worry about that. We have a list of startup resources and tools you can use. We have like a lot, so this is like free newsletters, ebooks, apps for entrepreneurs, productive habits, productivity at work, email productivity, building a website, We have a lot. So that's just the tools, list of tools and resources. We have how to go from idea to problem validation. We have a goal starting workshop, business validation template, some business 101 tips, business builder guides, startup summary, your launch checklist. We have a lot of stuff here. Early stage resources, how to create a no-code MVP, growth stage, how to set SMART goals, how to get users and grow. So this is a trailer board of 100 ways to get your first 100 users, for example. So there's a lot. It's like 100 ways. We did a sprint summit earlier this year, how to promote and scale your online business. You'll have access to all the recordings right here. We had a talk by Canva. We had an entrepreneur story. We had a really great panel discussion. So you will get access to all of these resources. This is in a sprint circle. So you'll see we have more content here, which we haven't released just yet. So this is like the content startup, content factory. And now your question about the validation course. It is just here. Oh, I passed it. Here. I will first of all make sure I show you. So hold on to this. There any questions? I see no text last weekend. Oh no, it's a shame. It's a good thing you're here, Heidi. But the Techstars programs actually are online, so don't worry if you don't see it in your country or in your city. So here's the validation course. So we have step 1, the problem fit. How to make sure your problem fits the solution that you're working on. The solution fit, how to make sure that your solution fits the problem that you're working on. And then that's it. Oh, ignore this bit. This is something that we're still editing. So to give you an idea, step 1. Time needed for this is 2 to 4 hours. So identify customer fit, complete online validation, ideas on how people buy solutions to problems. So think about the last thing that you bought, and think about why you bought it, because you're paying for a solution to a problem. Here we have how to find an idea. So this is really like if you have an idea that you haven't validated, or you have an idea that you have validated, but you're struggling to get users in. So the issue there could be like, hey, you have something, but maybe people don't want that. So you need to go back to the validation phase. How to find a problem, PDF. I'll show you what this looks like. It's all about the problem. So this is a PDF I go through in a video. Start with a problem, and I give you a case study of Pinterest and Square and how they went from idea to finding a problem, how to find a problem, discover a pain point. So you'll have access to this in the pre-validation bootcamp, then define and validate the problem. So you will see there's a lot of content here. And then if you already have an idea that you have validated, then I would go back to the solution and validate, focus on getting that solution fit between your solution and your users. So if you already have something you're thinking, hey, maybe I'm not getting any customers, people aren't signing up, then I would go back to the drawing board and spend more time with your users, because maybe what you're offering isn't meeting their needs or isn't addressing something that is a problem for them. So I will drop this link here in the chat box, so you can all access this. And it is free to join. If you are having troubles, if you are having trouble connecting or joining, please let me know. And now we have time for questions. I was worried we might run out. Do we have any questions that I can help answer? Anything about the bootcamp? Anything about the sprint circle? Anything about the pre-validation course? Anything about me? Anything about sprinters? Anything about the weather here in Birmingham? It's not the best right now. Please feel free to fire away. Can you all access the pre-validation course? I'll just double check that it is open for new members to join. I'm pretty sure it is. It seems like it is. I believe it is. So is everyone here interested in joining the bootcamp next week? So for the bootcamp next week, we do have a promotion right now. And I can't guarantee this promotion will be offered the next time we do the bootcamp. So the bootcamp next week is $97, and it includes 2 months of access to the Sprint Circle. So all those amazing library of resources I shared with you, and the events that we do in the sprint. Oops, it's not extended by 30 minutes, by the way. It's just a placeholder, so we'll be finishing in 10 minutes. So all those events that I showed you, so in the Sprint Circle, we have a bunch of events. Next week, we have Mo, and she is, oops, not resources. So we have resources, which is all our collection of resources, and then we also have the main hub, which is where we have our conversations. Here we are. Here, so we also have an event section here, and you'll see we have a bunch of events. So today's information session, I'm doing the office hours next, and I have a Q&A with Mo next week scheduled. So Mo is a 500 startups mentor, and she helps startups secure customers and capital. She's done a lot. She's doing a lot. She's super amazing. So we're having a bunch of mentors and experts coming in, and I'm looking to invite mentors from 500 startups to make sure that we are getting new mentors that can give you the support that you need to actually move forward. So in some way, shape or form, they are qualified to give you the support you need to make progress. Because often you'll find in programs that sometimes mentors are trying to sell you something, or maybe they're not qualified. So I really wanted to mitigate that. And I think, okay, how can I do that? And I reached out to some of my mentors that I work with at 500 Startups, and they were interested in coming on board. We are also hosting, which I haven't announced yet, we are also hosting another mentor session with someone called Amr, and he's ex-Uber, and he's also a mentor at 500 Startups. We also are hosting every month a pitch session. So it's a live pitch Q&A with an investor. So this will be a really informal session where you can come in and present, do your pitch for 3 or 5 minutes, and get like 10 or 15 minutes, like really honest, actionable advice on how you can improve to get an investor on board for your business. Normally investors charge for this, maybe they don't even reply to your emails if you do reach out. So we go off, do the legwork, and get you in the experts so you can come in and connect with them at ease. Oh, Heidi's just commented. Heidi's in South Africa. Hey, I just joined Sprinters. I am already in an online business. I'm interested to learn, network, and expand my business. Amazing. Heidi, let me see if I can bring you online so you can join me on the screen. If you are interested in connecting with any of our last sprintees that joined, when we say sprintees, our last participants or sprintees that joined the last bootcamp, do let me know, and I'm happy to introduce you so you can get unbiased review or opinion of the bootcamp. We have been doing a bootcamp for a long, long time, so we do have a lot of experience running the bootcamps. And it's something I really love doing. I generally get super excited because I'm going to meet really these super great, amazing women that come on board, maybe a bit timid at first, but then they open up, make so much progress, and we all win together. And it's so exciting to go through such a huge transformation in such a short space of time. I think that's amazing. And that's what the bootcamp is there for, is to help you make that progress. And we really do focus on that progress. It's not like, I don't want you to feel like you're just joining up another bootcamp and there isn't anyone there to support you and you have to figure out things on your own. No, we put you in accountability groups. Everyone works together. We're here to win together, and that's probably one of our, I would say that is one of our mottos, that we do win together. Like if someone is falling back, we make sure they're up to pace with the rest of us. So it's not like, hey, I'm doing better than you or I'm better than you. If we win together. So that's what we make sure that we do try our best to do, basically, with the whole team. Do we have any more questions? Okay, so I will share a link to the bootcamp page. So if you are interested in signing up, you can sign up here. Applications do close next week. So if you are interested in applying, do apply. If you have any more questions, please reach out to me. It's what I'm here for. I will post the recording in the Sprinters community. What else did I have to say? If you want to connect with anyone that joined the bootcamp earlier this year in June and July, reach out to me and I'll invite you to connect with some of our members that did join, so you can get an unbiased opinion of whether or not you should do the bootcamp. If you're still on the fence and thinking, hey, this bootcamp sounds great, but I don't think I'll have enough time for it, I understand. Reach out to me and I'll give you a better understanding of like the time commitment. I would say, if I'm honest, as if I would lie, I would say I would recommend a time commitment on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday each, between 3 to 5 hours max. Max 5 hours maximum. 3 to 5 hours for Saturday and Sunday. For the Friday, I would say between 2 and 4 hours, but it's entirely up to you. It's really about having a lot of fun, making connections and making progress together. When you see the progress you make, it's amazing. Like, I've seen it with our members, and I've seen the excitement on their face, and it genuinely gets me super excited. Okay, so if we have no more questions, that's the end of our session. I'll be posting a copy of our recording on Sprinters. If you have any questions about the bootcamp or anything else, please feel free to reach out to me. Any more questions? Okay, super. Oh, I see a question from Heidi. The bootcamp is free? Oh no, it's the information session. Oh, just as a heads up, if you also go to the homepage of the sprintup bootcamp, you will see at the top in the header the start the step-by-step validation module, so you can also enroll just here to access that. To join the bootcamp, it is $97 to join, and then you also get 2 months of the Sprint Circle for free. And when you get in the Sprint Circle, so you'll get everything you see here. Oh, I didn't show you the founder checklist, so we created a really detailed founder checklist for all the entrepreneurs in our circle. Okay, super. Great to have you on board, Heidi. If anyone has any more questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure to have you here. And I hope to see you all very soon. Feel free to message me. I'll also add my email in the chat box. And you can reach me on the Sprinters community anytime. Enjoy the rest of your day and please stay safe.